our gatekeepers, our TAs, traditional leaders, our village headmen, on how to come up with the bylaws that are going to care for our environment. You know, we have national environmental policy, which was produced in 2004. And this policy is outlining quite a lot on how we can care, how we can involve the communities on caring for the environment. So the gatekeepers and other individuals, you know, we have community structures like the ADCs, area development committees. We have structures like natural resources committees. Those structures have to be capacity built so that they should indeed know how to enforce the laws. In so doing, we can make good strides in as far as law enforcement in environmental conservation is all about.
Coming to our final part of this interview and the conversation, maybe 70% of the country's population are the youth, and various tertiary institutions in the country offer these courses that deal with issues to do with environmental conservation and preservation. Maybe what role do the youth in this country have towards driving for a sustainable environment?
Youths in Malawi are quite a lot, and definitely if we just make these youths accept and assimilate the laws on how to conserve the environment, definitely we can achieve a lot as far as environmental conservation is all about. The youth have got the roles, and the first role is to understand that environment is within us, and us are within environment. If they do understand this, then they're going to care for the environment. Secondly, they have to accept that we have laws that safeguard environment. If they have that understanding, and not only understanding, but fear the law, enforce the law, definitely the environment can be conserved. Thirdly, our youth have the role to civic educate our people in the village. That is why they are educated. Good enough, we have talked about institutions that do capacity build, that do teach our youths on how to care for the environment. We have Luana, we have Nzuni, we have Masti, we have even Chanko, University of Malawi. We have Ngoma University up there. We have quite a lot of these in Malawi. Unilia, they're there doing quite a lot in educating our youth on how to care for the environment. So the third law is for them to transfer the information down to the communities on how to care for the environment. The second one is the youth have the role to mobilize resources. Okay, they may mobilize the resources so that they can use those resources to care for the environment. For example, we have the youth, and that youth may develop a proposal on how to come up with, to use the funds to care for the environment. Like enough, that youth can be funded, and if that is possible, then can put that money in caring for the environment. In so doing, environment is being conserved. And of course, youths should have a role in coming up with innovations on how to care for the environment. For example, you can talk of coming up with alternative sources of energy, as we have already said. If the youth come up with those methods, definitely communities may assimilate those methods and reduce the pressure on the environment. And again, the youth can decide to have small families. Small families in the sense that educated youth may just plan to have just a few children. For example, if you are not married yet, sir, you may think of having a wife and then just have 2 children. That, yeah, of course.
I'll tell you, I'll gradually take the advice seriously.
You need to do that, sir, because in so doing, you are reducing the population growth, which exerts the pressure on our environment. So it's the role of the youth to come up with the ideas of having just a small family in order to reduce the pressure on the environment. The youth have the roles just to use the traditionally produced food. You may wonder to say, why food? Why food? You know, when the factories, when the industries, when the food are being produced in industries or wherever they are produced, we should understand that highly synthesized food do positively to the environmental degradation. Why? Because in those areas where food is produced, for example, yogurt, I'm not like, I don't like yogurt, I do, but I'm just giving an example. For example, yogurt, for them to produce yogurt, a lot of process or a long process is involved. And in so doing, the process produces byproducts. For example, we talk of gases. Carbon dioxide is produced, and this carbon dioxide goes into the atmosphere and destroys the environment. Air, pollutes the air. And at the same time, some of the products are watery. These watery products can be contaminated with strong metals, and those strong metals are taken to the river, thereby polluting the what? The waters, and destroying even a lot of species, animals, water animals. In so doing, they are destroying the environment. So the youth can make a decision to say, I may not be eating highly synthesized food for the sake of caring for the environment. But you see, the youth of today, they are educated on how environment is being degraded and how they can care for the environment. But they are the first to go for highly synthesized food. Even the clothes, the kind of clothes that we're putting on, you know, for the clothes to be produced, there's some long processes involved, and the byproducts are dumped in the environment, thereby polluting the environment. So a person like me, who knows better about the environmental conservation and the factors that destroy environment, definitely should be able to choose to make decisions that may not necessarily destroy the environment, but rather should make decisions that should conserve the environment as explained.
As we are wrapping up this conversation today, maybe
Yes.
in just a matter of few words, in a few minutes, what can be your advice to someone who is in Nsanje, someone who is in Misuku Hills in Chitipa, someone who is in Chiwavi Mzuzu, someone who is in Dirande, Brantaya, in Area 25? What can be your final words about how they should go about in preserving but also conserving the environment in this country?
My dear brother, my dear sister, my dear parent, who is located in various corners of this country, where environment is flourishing, we should take note. You should take note that the environment that you are enjoying, if you are not caring for it, it is going to be detrimental to yourself in the near future. If not to you, but to your descendants. We take care for the environment so that your children or the children of your children must be or must enjoy the same. One way of trying to care for that environment, just to sum up, make you participate in the tree planting exercise instituted by the government of Malawi, led by the president himself. You can agree with me that a tree is a very important component of the environment. because it's a producer. In science, we call it as a producer. So if you cut down a tree anyhow in your locality, take note that you are reducing the production of the food that you do enjoy. You are reducing the production of oxygen that you would have enjoyed. You are reducing the absorption of carbon dioxide that would have hurt you. As such, I urge you, sister, brother, parent, wherever you are, that you should be in the forefront in planting or participating in tree planting exercise. Secondly, I urge you, sister, to follow the laws of Malawi. We have quite a lot of papers that are safeguarding the environment in Malawi. If you just enforce those laws, if you just assimilate them and put them into practice, you are doing even best for yourself. You are doing even best for the generation to come. You are doing very best for the environment. Thirdly, you need to trickle down the information that you have about conserving the environment to somebody who doesn't know. In this case, I'm talking about you, young man, you, young lady, who had just finished your studies in the institutions of higher learning in Malawi. Would you please share the information on how to conserve the environment and check in our mosques, so that we should collectively take a good care for our environment. Fourthly, I'm now talking to lecturers and those that are teaching in the institutions of higher learning to design the curriculum in a way that should curb the challenges associated with environmental degradation. Why am I saying this? You know, we are in a dynamic world, dynamic earth. Things are changing now and again. If the curriculum is just dead, when we say a dead curriculum, is a curriculum that is not caring for the changes that are taking place currently. So the curriculum must be dynamic, must change, must be able to address issues that are just emerging. In this case, environmental degradation. To design curriculum, or we have to design curricula that are going to address the challenges environment is currently facing. In so doing, we are creating a future that is going to support our lives and avoid catastrophic events. Thank you so much.
Well, that's all we had time for in this first episode of the iTalk podcast right here on our YouTube channel with me, your host, Benjamin Kafwirangachi Nyirenda. And in today's episode, I was joined by Environmentalist Greshan Kamnyamata, where we had a meaningful conversation about the country's current environmental status and how we as a nation can strive towards a sustainable environment. You can get access to this content on our YouTube channel at the site 265 and on our Facebook page at the site. Until next time, it's bye bye.